ABC Action News starts right now with breaking news.
And lots to get to this Thursday morning as you wake up with ABC, including hours-long SWAT standoff ending overnight with 2 people dead.
We start this morning with a frantic rescue that finds a car that crashed into a pond. Rescue crews are trying to find that car right now. ABC Action News reporter Corey Deerdorf is live at I-275 in Gandy now with an update. Corey, any sight of that car yet?
Dan, Dia, good morning. Right now, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office dive teams are out there looking in the car, as well as a tow truck showing up and crash scene investigators. As we start to zoom in to show you what's going on right now, it's a little hard to see because of how far we are away from the scene, but just over that hill there's a retention pond that they just lit up at several hundred feet across. That's where the suspect vehicle is right now. When we first arrived, you can see the pond completely surrounded by officers with all their headlights pointed towards the middle, trying to find that vehicle. The Sheriff's Office chopper up, shining a spotlight on that pond as well. We're hearing this all started as a chase after a failed traffic stop. That vehicle running off of southbound 275 through a fence, ending up in the retention pond. A fire rescue responding to the scene out here, but they left the scene shortly after, not saying if they found the driver or not. Now the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office dive team is on scene. We've seen a number of investigators starting to show up this morning out here, and we're going to make sure we stay on top of it. We're in contact with the Sheriff's Office asking those important questions to figure out just how this started and how it ended up in this retention pond. We're live in Largo this morning. Corey Deerdorf, ABC Action News.
All right, we're off to a warm and dry start to the day. Temperatures near 70 degrees right now in Tampa and in St. Pete. Brandon at 68. Crystal River even at 66 degrees this morning. All above average temperatures for this time of year, this time of morning. 69 right now in Sebring. As we move through the day, check out all of this sunshine from start to finish today. You're not going to have any weather-related problems coming or going. Picking up the kids from school, going to be just fine. Getting them off to school this morning, looking good. It is going to be warm this afternoon, though, with that high of 84. So no big surprises here, but there are big changes as we head into the weekend. I'll be timing out that storm chance for you as that next front rolls through coming up in just a bit. Now, we know things can change in an instant. It's been pretty quiet so far, Lindsay, but how are things looking right now?
You know, Shay, just as quickly as they get a crash or construction cleared somewhere, something else pops up somewhere else, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So heads up in the Ruskin area, I-75 southbound right now at Sun City Center. Do have a crash there with injuries tying up one of the lanes, but if you take a look at where the crash is on our map, I'm not seeing any delays approaching the crash. 68 miles an hour right before that exit there. So again, I-75 southbound at Sun City Center. Just heads up if you're about to walk out the door. Other than that, just a lot of construction still from overnight, but nothing that I think is going to get in the way of your morning commute. I do want to let you know, though, today the Selman Expressway, if you take it, heads up, the Kennedy ramp from westbound Selman will be closed for 2 hours today from 10 to noon to fix a pothole repair. Your alternate right here is going to get off at Morgan Street instead. Updates all morning long, plus real-time drive times. I'm posting them for you on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. 6:01, back to another breaking news story we're following from St. Petersburg. 2 people are dead after an hours-long SWAT standoff that stretched late into the night. St. Pete police saying a man barricaded himself inside a house on 34th Street North for some 11 hours after detectives turned up to question him about a missing persons case. Now, we do not know if that man is among the dead, and officers right now are still gathering evidence at the scene. They say they're waiting to talk to the families of the deceased before releasing any names. And breaking news from abroad, at least 10 people are dead and more than 100 others missing after an overpass collapsed in India overnight. Take a look. These are our first looks at the scene in Kolkata. New Delhi Television tweeting these pictures. We're learning slabs from an overpass, a flyover that was under construction, fell onto moving cars. Many are feared trapped in their cars. Construction workers also may be buried under that debris.
Also, we're following breaking news right here at home. We want to take you live right now to Tarpon Springs. This is a new look this morning at that massive 80-foot wide sinkhole that's threatening people at a mobile home park there. Now, since we first brought you this breaking news yesterday when this sinkhole reopened, we found out that it has stopped growing. That's the good news. But a permanent fix is still now days away. We are expecting to get an update from crews surveying that sinkhole. That's going to happen later this morning. And that view view from the sinkhole from a drone that we show you right here, this one here. It really shows you exactly how big that sinkhole is. It gives you some perspective there. You see that mobile home right there, and look how large the sinkhole is.
And Dia, the big issue, of course, this morning is that hole took out some sewer lines and water lines with it. So now crews are asking people who live nearby to conserve water. Crews believe they'll be able to temporarily fix the broken pipes by Saturday. After that, they'll work on a more permanent repair. Now, coming up at 6:30, Rodney Dunnigan will join us again to show us how you can help make that job a little easier for crews.
All right, if you're not near your TV, come on over, take a look at this. This amazing video right here of a fire at a home. Amazingly, nobody was hurt in this massive fire that destroyed that home in Lithia. A viewer sent us this video overnight. Firefighters tell us downed power lines near the flames sparked secondary fires that made their job even tougher. A next-door neighbor shot that video after hearing screams for help from that home on Jameson Road. We're told a man and woman renting the house managed to get out safely. That's the good news, because firefighters tell us propane tanks engulfed in flames exploded while they were trying to put that fire out.
Glass was breaking, bullets were going off.
Bullets were going off?
Yeah, there was bullets inside the house, and power lines were sparking up. It was a very bad fire, and I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, we feel bad. The 100-year-old home is a total loss, but again, the family is safe. The Red Cross is now helping that couple find a place to stay. If you want to see this jaw-dropping video, we've got it posted right now on our Facebook page.
New video coming into our newsroom overnight of hundreds of protesters standing in solidarity, questioning a decision not to charge 2 Minnesota police officers with killing an unarmed black man. And we're told the protesters, the protests, that is, lasted late into the night, were mostly peaceful, but some people burned an American flag in front of a Minneapolis police precinct. We first told you last year about Jamar Clark's death. Police officers involved said they feared for their lives when they shot Clark, and a review board found out that Clark was not handcuffed at the time of the shooting. Now let's get to democracy. 2016, Donald Trump's seemingly unstoppable momentum could be running into a bit of a road bump at the worst possible time.
Voters in Wisconsin, the next state that goes to the polls, seem to favor Trump's biggest rival. A new Marquette University Law School poll shows Senator Ted Cruz holds a wide lead over Trump in Wisconsin. Cruz has 40% support compared to 30% for Trump. Governor John Kasich trails with 21%. Now, the race is much tighter on the Democratic side, with Bernie Sanders up by just 4 points over Hillary Clinton. Wisconsin is the last major state to vote before New York's pivotal primary 2 weeks later, and we just got a new Quinnipiac University poll showing where the candidates stand in the New York race. We're going over those numbers right now. We'll let you know what we've learned coming up a little bit later this hour.
New this morning, Donald Trump walking back some controversial comments on abortion that are igniting a firestorm online. At first, Trump said in a town hall style forum, if abortion is banned, women seeking the procedure should be punished.
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents, 10 years,
I don't know. That I don't know. That
why
I don't
not?
know. I don't know.
You take positions and everything else.
Frankly, I do take positions and everything else. It's a very complicated position.
The backlash was immediate from all sides. Hillary Clinton called the comments horrific and telling. Bernie Sanders slamming them as shameful. Governor John Kasich also distanced himself from the response, calling it inappropriate. Late yesterday, Trump clarified his position, saying if abortion is made illegal, the doctor or person performing the procedure should be punished and not the woman.
On the Democratic side, a missed deadline nearly cost Bernie Sanders big time. We just learned the local Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. filed paperwork 1 day late to enter him into the D.C. primary. Now, because of this, an activist challenged Sanders' status as a legitimate candidate, forcing the Board of Elections to look into the issue. The board says Sanders' name should still be on the primary ballot in June.
Right now, a line of tornadoes ripping through the heartland. One twister seeming to bounce along, touching down, lifting back up several times. We'll show you the hardest hit communities and how an entire family was hurt in the chaos.
10 minutes after 6, and we're taking action for you this morning. We're keeping you up to date on the potentially devastating Zika virus. Since the start of March, the number of cases here in Florida has nearly doubled, going from 42 to 76. Palm Beach County on the East Coast is now reporting its first case of the mosquito-borne illness. Here in the Bay Area, though, the number of cases is holding steady right now at 5.
And the concern is growing over how far the mosquito species that are known to carry Zika can travel. I pulled up some new maps from the Centers for Disease Control. This first map I'm showing you here shows the area where health experts originally thought those two mosquito species lived. You see that? Now compare it to this new map. This is the new range of the mosquitoes. You can tell it's a much larger part of the country. It extends as far west out to California, as far north as the Midwest, and even into southern Maine. The CDC says this doesn't mean the mosquitoes will spread the virus this far north, just that the insects are found there.
All right, if you're headed out the door right now for your morning drive, weather is not going to get in your way, but it certainly is warm out there and muggy too. 70 degrees right now in Tampa. We're headed to a high of 84. Rain is unlikely today, so no expected issues for your evening drive either. But boy, do we have some nasty weather headed our way. I'll time it out for you as we head into our weekend. Coming up in just a few minutes. Dan?
Shay, lots of breaking news to keep folks in the loop on. I-275 at Gandy Boulevard. That is the scene we are on right now. Police urgent to rescue someone who possibly has driven into a retention pond there. Action Air 1 also heading to the scene. More live reports throughout this hour.
6:15 right now. We've been watching breaking news all morning long in St. Petersburg. You're looking live right now from Action Air 1 at a rescue that's happening right now at I-275 and Gandy Boulevard. A car drove off the road and into a pond about 3 hours ago. Now, throughout the morning, we've been watching a dive team searching for that car and anyone who was inside it. A helicopter is also flying overhead trying to find the vehicle. We have a crew on the scene. They've been out there all morning. They are constantly checking in with us, giving us updates, and we'll give you the updates as soon as we hear from them.
Gonna hit the zoo.
That's right over the zoo, dude.
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow, scary scenes there from the heartland. This morning, 7 people are recovering from injuries after a swath of severe weather tore through America's heartland yesterday. We have new video this morning of that twister caught on camera near Tulsa, Oklahoma's airport. Early reports show there were several tornadoes, in fact, in the central U.S., one of them touching down several times. A family of 4 was hurt as storms hit Oklahoma. A tree fell on their truck. Several roads are closed as crews canvass the city, but as of right now, there are no reports of anyone missing. Actually, that same system may be putting a damper on weekend plans here in the Bay Area and a large area under the threat of more severe weather today.
Yeah, this is going to affect folks for 3 days now, from today through Saturday. And this, like you said, large amount of real estate affected for today by those storms. Certainly a significant risk for severe storms in those areas. So as we continue on through the next couple of days, by Saturday, when the front is on top of us, it will be somewhat weaker, but we have now been added to the marginal risk category in this area, shaded in green. So basically central Pinellas County on through northern Hillsborough and north has a risk for some damaging winds or hail. Those are the primary risks as this storm system moves from north to south across the state. Here's where it's at right now. You can see that tornado watch box through Louisiana and into Mississippi. And again, very heavy rain extending all the way into the Great Lakes, where there is also a continued concern today for some severe weather. So on Saturday, when it reaches us from noon to about 8 o'clock at night, this is our target time frame as it stands right now for the rain and the storms to move through and for that risk of severe storms. We'll be able to narrow down that time frame a bit more as we get closer, but at least at this point, this is what we're looking at. So the best thing to do at this point is protect your property, make sure you don't have loose items hanging around your house that could cause damage if we do get those damaging winds, and Storm Shield on your mobile device, and that will alert you if there are any warnings if you're on the go or if you happen to have gone to bed at some point or you're taking a nap in the afternoon. You certainly want to know if there are any severe storms headed your way. Now, between now and then, it's looking awesome. Today and tomorrow, we're going to be on the drier side, plenty of sunshine, fair weather clouds, high temperatures in the low to mid 80s all across the area. So really, it's Saturday that is going to be the nasty day for several hours. And then by Sunday, the front is to our south. The skies clear out. The temperatures come down a bit. The humidity comes down. We got a nice breeze out there. And this continues all the way into next week. So just one nasty day, and we'll keep a close eye on it and help you time it all out so you can adjust your plans for the weekend accordingly. All right, as far as adjusting plans, do we need to do any of that this morning, Lindsay, from the morning commute?
And Shay, you know, great question. I think a couple people may have to, but not if you take one of the Bay Area bridges, Tampa side right here of the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Headlights coming on over from Clearwater. You've got a 6-minute commute, and you are up to speed as well over the Howard Franklin and the Gandy bridges. Current traffic, that's what I want to talk about. Southbound I-75 at Sun City Center. Still going to have roadblock there because of a crash with injuries. I'm not seeing any major delays, but just keep that in mind if you're about to walk out the door. And heads up if you're up in Brooksville. Just got a new report of a crash. It's going to be westbound on State Road 50 right there at I-75. Crash with injuries and roadblock. If you're one of the many people who debate every day which road to take, Kennedy or 275, not bad either way. You are still in the green and up to speed from the Howard Franklin to downtown. Updates all morning long. I've got them for you on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dan.
Thanks, Lindsay. 6:19. When it comes to weddings, you know, a lot of families spare no expense.
Yeah, but not like this one. Wait until you feast your eyes on what Russian media is calling the most expensive wedding ever. It's just crazy. The heir to Russian oil fortune reportedly spent $1 billion, $1 billion with a B, on his wedding. 600 guests watched the bride walk down the aisle in a $25,000 haute couture wedding gown. It weighed 25 pounds. The venue, well, it was covered in flowers. They had a 9-tiered cake that towered over the couple. And you see there, Jennifer Lopez and Enrique Iglesias performed. J-Lo was reportedly paid $1 million for her performance. And Dan, this whole thing isn't even over yet. This couple is also flying off to London for a second ceremony where we're hearing that Beyonce is also going to perform.
This sets a really bad precedent for fathers of daughters like
No, you just got to hope that they stay together, you know, because the second wife is going to be really upset if she doesn't get the same thing.
That's a fact. 6:20 now. Some breaking news in the race for the White House. A new poll just released minutes ago showing Hillary Clinton leading in the state of New York. And we're breaking down those numbers for you coming up.
It is 6:24. Okay, talk about a walk on the wild side. I don't want to look at it. All right, video of that close encounter with the Florida panther. This is going viral this morning.
Two women visiting from Wisconsin took this video at the Corkscrew Swamp north of Naples. Listen.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy oh my God.
What?
Yeah, oh my God is right.
One of those women posted this video online Tuesday night.
You can almost hear her holding her breath. Oh my God. Well, they were walking on the boardwalk when they say they heard loud thumps coming toward them, and then that panther sprinted right past them. Now, with all the attention that this video is getting online, the sanctuary director is hoping that it's going to increase the number of visitors to the swamp boardwalk.
Doesn't love panthers. You know, this is really cool. I figured as soon as I saw it that this is going to be a popular image to replay for folks. I've watched it probably 10 times myself already.
You love
He
panthers?
says, yeah. I was going to say,
I
but
just
I don't
want
want to see
them
them
running
in person.
toward me. Right.
Hello. All right, 1,500 people have shared this video from our Facebook page. If you want to see it, share it with your friends. Make sure you hit share when it shows up on your feed. Oh my, it takes your breath away.
Yeah, and there was nowhere to go.
I know. You just jump over the railing, you know?
Right, and what are you jumping into?
An alligator.
Alligators, right, exactly. All right, take a look right now. The last 3 hours on Titan Doppler radar, we have been dry. Things are looking fantastic and warm out there. But boy, is there a mess headed our way for the weekend. I'll time it all out for you and show you where we'll have our strongest chances for severe storms coming up in just a bit. Dan?
Thanks, Jay. 6:26, ABC Action News staying on top of breaking news this morning. The search still underway for a car that drove off the road and into a St. Petersburg retention pond. This is happening off I-275 near Gandy. We just got an update that this was a stolen car, apparently being driven recklessly. Deputies not sure how many people were in that car.
ABC Action News starts right now with breaking news.
A lot to catch you up on from overnight as you wake up with ABC on this early Thursday, starting with this rescue underway right now in St. Petersburg. Dive teams searching for a car that drove off the road and into a pond. Corey Deerdorf just got an update from deputies. Joins us live now. Corey?
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Quite a sight if you're traveling southbound on Interstate 275 at Gandy Boulevard. Let's get right to action. Air 1 ahead, up high above over the scene. You can see a tow truck trying to pull that vehicle from the pond. We're learning more about what led up to this crash. We found out the suspect was driving a stolen car recklessly down southbound Interstate 275 when the sheriff's office attempted to stop them. The car did not. The car sped off the road, through a fence, ending up in that retention pond you're looking at right there. And when we first arrived, minutes after that car went into the water, you could see the pond completely surrounded with officers, all with their headlights pointed towards the middle of the pond, trying to find that car. Sheriff's office chopper up, shining a spotlight on that pond as well. Right now, the dive team is on scene trying to get into that car to get the person or persons out of the car. They're unsure how many people are inside, and we don't know the condition of the driver of that stolen car. And Captain Al is up in action, Air 1 high above the scene. Al, what can you see?
Hey, Corey, you can see the divers very clearly. They've been working for the last 15 or 20 minutes out from this wrecker that you see on the right-hand part of the screen, trying to, I think, find the car or get a cable to the car. They have the cable out on the tow truck, but it's not hooked to anything yet. They do have a pole they just took out. We're not sure exactly what they're in the process of doing, but they are on the west side of this pond. Now, that's a good 150 yards off of I-275. Really nothing else around it. So we're just continuing to watch. It's evolving, so don't go anywhere. Now back to the desk.
All right, also in St. Pete right now, we're working to find out the names of 2 people who died after an 11-hour standoff at a home right here. Wednesday afternoon, officers say a man barricaded himself inside this home on 34th Street North after detectives showed up to question him about a missing persons case. And make sure you download our free mobile app. We're sending out push alerts all morning long on both of these breaking news stories.
All right, if you're headed out the door right now, check this out. As we look at our hourly forecast, things are looking fabulous from start to finish today. Starting off with dry conditions near 70 degrees, lots of sunshine today. And you may notice no rain as we go hour by hour. If you're getting the kids ready for school right now or later on, if they've got some practice outside, not going to be interrupted by rain today. We're going to be hot, though, with temperatures well above average in the mid 80s today. Again, rain is unlikely, so hopefully we will be looking at, but we will be looking at some higher chances for rain as we head into the weekend. My mind is all over the place this morning. Bottom line is things are looking great for today, but we do have storms on the way for the weekend. All right, as far as timing out your morning commute, Lindsay, what are we seeing right now? Are things looking pretty good still?
Yeah, you know, I think that they are. We do have a couple things still going on out there. I posted details about those on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic, but nothing that I think was going to lead you to a detour this morning. Look at these drive times right now. 19 minutes southbound on Del Mabry from Van Dyke to 275. 13 minutes if you choose to take the Veterans this morning. Still looking good there on the Veterans. Average speeds elsewhere on the majors, still in the green, 75, 275. I-4 getting a little bit slower, and that's typical for this time of day, especially as you approach the junction right there at I-275. And the Bay Area bridges, not bad. 8 minutes right now over the Courtney Campbell, still in the green over the Howard Franklin. Same story right now for the Gandy. And I'm posting drive times like this. You can find them all morning long on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dan and Dia.
Thanks, Lindsay. 6:33. Work is underway to pump thousands of gallons of water, some of it sewage, out of this massive sinkhole in Tarpon Springs.
The hole there is just incredible. As soon as we got word of this yesterday, we sent a crew out there. We've been showing you amazing images like the one that you saw there, that hole widening up, swallowing pieces of pipe. Crews were actually out there. They were trying to stabilize a smaller hole when that hole started to grow, busting a water pipe and also 2 sewer lines.
ABC Action News reporter Rodney Dunnigan is live just outside the Tarpon Shores Mobile Home Park, which is right next to where this opened up. Maybe some time before Mango Road is open.
Well, that's exactly right, Dan. It'll be sometime. Crews have been out here throughout the morning laying these lines here, trying to pump out this water. We're talking thousands of gallons of water, some of it sewage water, as you mentioned, that needs to be pumped out of this hole. Now, just to gauge for you how long all of this is taking, these trucks have been running every half hour. It's taking about 30 minutes to fill up these trucks coming in to clear all of this. Now, the water has to be cleared out of this hole before they can actually gauge how deep it is, and there's no telling on when the people who've been evacuated will be allowed to go back inside of their homes. The sinkhole here was reported to be about 80 to 100 feet wide and possibly 60 feet deep. Now, at this point, the actual repair work on that sinkhole hasn't even started. Once the water is cleared out, then the crews here will repair the pipes down below. Now, homeowners in this area are being told to limit their water use. A number of residents from the Tarpon Shores Mobile Home Park here have been forced to leave their homes.
It's a little scary, especially if you live close to it like this, as big as it is.
And it certainly has been pretty scary for the folks here. It's unclear at this point how long this repair process will take. Mango Street will remain closed in the meantime as crews work around the clock to fix this. The Red Cross is assisting many of those families. Now, back out here live this morning, I want you guys to notice something. This is the pipe that will be used here for the bypass system. Once all of this is cleared out, they'll be working on this to get that sewage water cleared through these pipes. And if I can have Grant, if you can look down the street here, they already have cement trucks set up down here. They're actually stirring the cement right now, getting that ready to fill the hole at some point. But at this point, we aren't sure how long the process will be to clear out this water. But actually, when that process is done, they'll fix the pipe and they'll be filling this hole with the cement down the street there. So you can see this is a pretty long process that may take a long time for the folks in this community. For now, reporting live in Tarpon Springs, Rodney Dunnigan, ABC Action News.
All right, thank you, Rodney. Out here at the digital dashboard, take a look at this. This slideshow that we created here of that sinkhole, it is getting a lot of attention right now on our Facebook page and also our website. A lot of you just cannot get enough of these pictures here. We've got a crew in Tarpon Springs right now. Rodney's going to stay out there. They're expecting to get an update from crews surveying the sinkhole at 10 o'clock this morning. So make sure that you download our mobile app. You can see this slideshow here. You can also share it with your friends, and also we'll send out a push alert as soon as we get that new information this morning at 10.
6:36, we just checked, and a Bay Area woman accused of a deadly case of child abuse will learn how long she'll spend in prison for a crime. Kara O'Connell could spend the next 30 years in prison if she gets the harshest sentence. Her boyfriend's son died in 2010 after investigators say he suffered bite marks, bruises, possibly a broken arm, other abuse. Authorities say O'Connell abused the 3-year-old boy along with her boyfriend, who actually testified against her in exchange for a lesser sentence.
It is 6:37. We're getting a look right now at the dramatic video showing a mid-air collision. This is it happening right here. It happened in Zephyr Hills, and sadly it ended with a skydiver paralyzed from the waist down. We brought you this as breaking news last week, just seconds after this skydive. This collision happened. 23-year-old Sebastian Leal is an experienced skydiver. He and 3 others were jumping in wingsuits when that collision happened just 5 seconds into the flight. He was knocked unconscious, but luckily he was saved when his reserve chute deployed automatically. He says the next thing he remembers is waking up on the ground.
My next memory is lying on the ground in pain. Well, I was fortunate enough to be airlifted to the hospital, and that probably saved my life.
He fractured 4 vertebrae when he hit power lines on his way down. Again, he is now paralyzed from the waist down. We found out that he's heading to Atlanta today, where he's going to continue his recovery at a rehab center there.
6:38, still ahead if you're skipping town for spring break or just a business trip. Maybe a bad day to fly. The issue brewing at one major airport and the impact it could have on flights in Tampa. 6:41, air travel could become a big hassle today, much more than normal. Right now, employees at 8 major U.S. airports are preparing to go on strike. This means possible flight delays and likely longer wait times to get you in and out of the airport. Baggage handlers and security officers and other workers at Chicago O'Hare, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington Reagan, and the 3 major New York City airports plan to strike at 8 o'clock this morning. They want better job conditions and higher wages. Now, I've just pulled up arrivals at TIA here on the iPad from Chicago O'Hare. And as you can see, they're all on time right now, but the strike doesn't start until 8 o'clock. So that's likely when you'll start seeing delays because it is still a couple of hours away.
6:42 right now. ABC Action News is watching breaking news right now. A frantic search is underway for the person who was in a car that drove into a pond in St. Pete. Dive teams are working to find the person right now. They found the car already. The car was apparently stolen. They're looking to see if anybody was trapped inside. We've got a crew on the scene. A live update is coming up right after this break. At 15 till 7, if you're just joining us right now, we're following breaking news this morning in St. Pete at I-275 in Gandy, where a car crashed into a pond early this morning. Captain Al is over the scene right now. Captain Al, have they pulled that car out yet? Is that the car there?
Hey, good morning, Dia. They indeed just pulled it out a couple minutes ago. They were in the water, divers, for quite a while. trying to find out exactly where it was, I believe, and then get a line hook to it. They just pulled it out, as you see right there. Again, southwest corner, I-275 and Gandy Boulevard. There's a cemetery just a little bit ahead of that, or a little bit above that car, if you see in the picture. And right there where it went in is a retention pond. Corey did a great job of describing it, not being able to see it from the air. But as you can see, they've just cut it out. There's a lot of debris on top. They're looking inside right now to see if there are indeed any occupants. But it's not affecting traffic. This is way off to the side. You'd be hard-pressed to actually see this going on. Fortunately, we're in the air and be able to provide you this aerial coverage. Now for a traffic perspective, here's Lindsay.
Okay, Al, thank you. And we do have a couple of crashes to let you know about. So let's start off right now to the north in Hernando County, Brooksville. Heads up, you're going to have roadblock westbound on State Road 50. That's because of a crash at I-75, an injury crash there. And one of the ramps, to I-75 is blocked. One of the lanes, In Pinellas County, US 19 at Tampa Road, this crash just got called in. I'm not seeing any delays northbound or southbound, though, on US 19. And I'm still watching a crash in Ruskin. Still hasn't cleared yet. 75 southbound at Sun City Center, a crash there with injuries. Other than that, I really don't think you're going to have a problem if you're walking out the door right now. Traffic is starting to build through the downtown area, but you're still up to speed and in the green right now on I-275, as well as the bridges. Tampa side right here of the Courtney Campbell Causeway, you have 6 minutes right now from Clearwater on into Tampa. Now for a check of that forecast, I know Shay says the next couple of days are going to be nice, but we're looking ahead.
Yeah, as we look ahead, it does get nasty, but at least for right now, if you're stepping out the door, check this out. Tampa, Rivergate Tower, Tampa camera. It's zoomed in a bit, so that's why it's shaking just a tad. We don't have strong winds out there, but we do have very dry conditions. It's also warm, and it is steamy out there already this morning. Rain is unlikely today. We have a southeasterly flow, so that's going to continue to pump in that low-level moisture. We know that is humidity, and that's going to stick around for a little bit as we reach those highs in the mid-80s today. Now, by Saturday, this front that I've been telling you about all week, this is going to be on top of us. This has the potential of creating some severe storms in our area on Saturday. The time frame is right now between noon to 8 o'clock in the evening. So this is when that nasty weather could have an impact, especially from Pinellas County, northern Hillsborough County on north, with damaging winds and possibly some hail. We will be able to fine tune that timing a bit more as we get closer, but at least for right now, noon to 8 p.m. is the target time frame for that nasty weather to roll through. Today and tomorrow, though, looking fabulous, starting off near 70 degrees, ending the day in the low to mid 80s, both Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, we top out at 80 degrees. Check out what's behind this front, though. This is some glorious weather, especially for this time of year. The humidity comes down, the temperatures come down. We'll have a good amount of sunshine. We start the day on Sunday at 62, end the day at 75. And check this out, it sticks around into early next week. We're back up to 80 by Wednesday with lots of sunshine. So again, today and tomorrow, fantastic. Saturday, you want to make sure to have Storm Shield on your mobile device so you can get any alerts if you're on the go, if we do have any warnings in our area. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Shay. It's 6:49, 11 till 7. Now, breaking news in the race for the White House. A new poll showing Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump with a home court advantage in New York State's presidential primary. Clinton, who represented New York as a senator, leads Bernie Sanders, who was actually born there, 54 to 42% in the Empire State. Sanders is leading Clinton among very liberal New York Democrats. Among voters 18 to 44 years old, Sanders crushes Clinton by 27 percentage points. On the Republican side, Trump has a huge lead of more than 36% in New York over both Ted Cruz and John Kasich. One note, in a head-to-head matchup, Kasich actually beats Clinton everywhere in the state except in New York City.
And ahead of New York's pivotal primary, Hillary Clinton seems to be preparing for a general election showdown with Donald Trump. She is now targeting him in a new ad tailored specifically for New Yorkers.
So when some say we can solve America's problems by building walls, banning people based on their religion, and turning against each other, well, this is New York, and we know better.
Well, she just released this ad just one day after condemning Trump for his campaign manager's rough handling of a female reporter. Meanwhile, Trump says that he is considering legal action of his own in response to his campaign manager's arrest. And Trump is also being targeted by Ted Cruz. Cruz is hosting a fundraiser today in Southern California, but last night he made an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Cruz and Kimmel joking that many fellow Republicans in Washington don't like him very much.
Just a week ago, Lindsey Graham hosted an event for me, and I joked at the beginning. I said, listen, this is This is a first. This is the first event I've ever had hosted by someone who 3 weeks earlier publicly called for my murder.
That is interesting. Yeah, what you did is you kind of held out until they found someone that they liked less than you.
There you go. At one point, Cruz joking he'd have to think twice about not backing over Trump with his car if the billionaire was behind him.
Breaking overnight in North Carolina, a single-engine plane is destroyed by fire. You see the incredible video there. A passerby actually saw this plane engulfed in flames and then reported it. The FAA is expected to be on the scene today. They're trying to determine how this plane caught fire. They also want to know if there's any risk to similar aircraft.
We're following a developing story about a white Texas police officer who shot a black man who was down on one knee and holding a barbecue fork. Fort Worth police just releasing this dash cam video of the shooting that happened just last June. Officer Courtney Johnson held a shotgun while responding to a call about a prowler with a knife. Video shows Craig Adams holding a barbecue fork fall to one knee when Johnson fired one shot. Adams was hit on the right arm in front of his parents' house. His family says the shooting was racially motivated, but Fort Worth police insist the shotgun misfired.
We're still the good guys here, folks. We take our job seriously.
This particular shotgun has been known to discharge. You can clearly tell that it was an intentional act.
Officer Johnson is now charged with aggravated assault and is reassigned to desk duty. Team coverage on this story coming up at 7 o'clock, including insight from a legal expert. That's ahead on Good Morning America.
Well, the FBI says it will now help a prosecutor in Arkansas unlock an iPhone and iPad that belonged to two teenagers accused of killing a couple. The move comes just days after the FBI announced that it unlocked an iPhone that belonged to the gunman in the mass shooting in San Bernardino. The FBI has not revealed how it accessed the iPhone that belonged to Saeed Farouk. Authorities also haven't said if the Apple devices in the Arkansas case are the same models or if the FBI will use the same method to access these devices. Well, this morning we were hearing from the Southwest Florida teen who was bitten by a shark at Fort Myers Beach.
Name is Nick Kawa. He was with his family. They were visiting from Chicago on Monday. They were throwing a football around in waist-deep water. Nick says he reached into the water to grab the ball and was bitten on the right arm. He says it didn't hurt at first, but then he thought about getting out of the water.
Saw that there was blood, and then I looked at my arm and then realized that it was my blood and not something else. So then I realized that I kind of got bit.
Nick's doctor believes a nurse shark bit him and says the bite is not infected. Despite the bite, Nick says he went right back to the beach the very next day.
He's brave.
Time now 6:53. Your morning sprint counting it down to Good Morning America.
And we want to get right out to that breaking news in St. Pete that we've been watching all morning long. A car that crashed into a pond early this morning.
Corey Deerdorf's been out there all morning at I-275 and Gandy Boulevard. Has the latest for us. Corey.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Dia. Just moments ago, the Pinellas County dive team pulled that car from the water. Let's take a look from Action Air 1 high above the scene as we're learning more about what happened this morning. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office saying that a stolen car was driving recklessly on southbound 275 when deputies tried to stop it. The car, well, it didn't stop. It ran off the road, through a fence, and into the pond. The dive team and crash investigators are on scene right now trying to figure out just who is inside that car. Captain Al, you're high above the scene, giving the best view. What can you see going on right now?
Tell you what, those divers did a great job of getting that car out of there because the muck in that retention pond was amazing. You can see it on top of the vehicle there. You can't even tell what kind of vehicle it is. There are all the officers right there. They're pretty much assessing the situation. They'll be perhaps loading that vehicle and taking it to the crime lab. Not sure of that yet, but traffic-wise not affecting anything. Southwest corner of I-275 and Gandy Boulevard, it's way off to the side there in that cemetery, so you won't be able to see it from the road. Now back to the desk.
Also in St. Pete, police just confirming with us that a deadly standoff turned out to be a murder-suicide. Detectives have not confirmed right now if the man who sparked the standoff is among the dead. We do know a man barricaded himself inside that home on 34th Street North Wednesday afternoon after detectives turned up to question him about a missing persons case.
A number of people in Tarpon Springs are still being kept away from their homes this morning as crews monitor a large sinkhole. This sinkhole was reported to be about 80 feet wide, possibly 60 feet deep. Contractors were actually working to stabilize a smaller sinkhole at the time when this larger one opened up. It's unclear at this point how long those families could be out of their homes, but we're going to get an update in about 3 hours from crews at the scene.
This enormous fire that you're watching right here destroyed a historic home in Lithia. The couple renting this 100-year-old home on Jameson Road managed to safely escape, and they're lucky because firefighters say propane tanks exploded in this fire, and secondary fires were sparked because of downed power lines near the flames.
Brake lights right now on I-75 in the Brandon area. Northbound lanes right here heading on up. This is going to be my traffic camera near State Road 60, Brandon Boulevard. Reports of a crash in this vicinity. Haven't been able to pick it up just yet, but we're going to keep our eye on this because it looks like there is a major jam happening right now on I-75. I'm going to update you on Twitter right there. Also in the red right now down the Vets, 275 southbound. 75 getting close, 47 miles an hour right now southbound from the Apex. Dia.
All right, thanks, Lindsay.
Sorry.
All right, it is coming to me. All right, temperatures this morning are anywhere from the mid-60s to about 70 degrees, and we are going to see temperatures climbing up to the mid-80s today. So it is going to be warm and humid. Rain is unlikely today, so morning and afternoon commute looking great. Our next chance for significant rain is on Saturday with a severe storm risk as well. Dia?
All right, we're following several breaking news stories. We'll send out push alerts as soon as we get updates on that car that crashed into a pond in St. Pete and also that deadly standoff in St. Pete.
And we'll keep you posted as well on that large sinkhole in Tarpon Springs. We're expecting updates throughout the morning.